Hello and welcome back to the Oh My Gosh, You're Glowing podcast. My name is Lindsey Walker. I am your host for this podcast, and we are back with another episode, this time talking all about your intuition, but how it actually connects to your health. And if you are someone struggling with health challenges, why it's so important to strengthen your intuition and what that is actually going to gift you in life. Because I did not really know about intuition when I first started experiencing all my health challenges. I would hear people say, like, listen to your intuition, but I feel like I really didn't know what that actually meant until I started reading energy. Now, I don't think you have to read energy for you to be able to really listen to your own intuition. That's just how I got there. And I feel like that is the reason that for me, that was my path. So I could really help people and teach people how to tap into their own intuition, because really that intuition is your inner confidence, that self confidence, that inner voice, and not the ego voice, because sometimes your intuition can be very mistaken for ego if you are not sure which voice is which. So, I have a few different stories around this. Now, if you know this podcast format well, you know I just like plug in the microphone, hit record, and talk. And I absolutely love that way of recording because it's very real, it's very raw. It's an ability for me to just convey messages, channel messages through, channel whatever is just supposed to be said. But I've also been starting to get ideas for podcasts throughout my day, throughout my week. In the shower is very common. Water is a great conductor of energy. And so oftentimes I get my best ideas in the shower or just, going about my day. So I've started to actually make some notes about podcast episodes that I want to bring to you and share, because I can't just always sit down when it's like, 11 o'clock at night or something and go record a podcast. So there's not a ton of planning, but I do have some notes. And this is something actually that came through last night. And I was like, oh, I'm just in the energy. Like I feel it right now. And this has been a common thread that I'm hearing not only with my clients, but other people. So it just feels really important to bring this to you all. So, why is it so important to strengthen your intuition, especially when you're dealing with health issues, any kind of health challenges, or you're just wanting to optimize your health? You're wanting to optimize the health of your body, your mind, your soul. Why? It's always, in my opinion, important to strengthen your intuition. But why specifically when you're dealing with health issues? Personally, I used to have decision fatigue easily. I used to say that I was terrible at making decisions. In fact, I did not like making decisions because it was so challenging for me to make decisions. So if I think about it, making a decision took a lot of energy out of me to just literally, if it was like dress A or dress B. And I say dress because when I was choosing my wedding dress, that was a real challenge for me. And this was at the time where planning a wedding is like decision overload. So my decision fatigue meter was just through the roof. And I was having a really tough time listening to what I thought I wanted, what I actually wanted, how I was feeling in the moment, hearing other people's thoughts and opinions. It was just like there was so much going on. Luckily, in that particular scenario, I did myself a massive favor and basically forced myself to choose a dress at one shop. My goal, and not goal, but my dream in life when I was getting married was to find a dress at Kleinfeld in New York City. And I very much made that dream come to life and made it happen, and actually met the designer of my dress, Haley Page. She was there when I was trying on dresses. It was like literally, I'm seriously, it was like the most magical experience ever that I could have had. Like I was manifesting that since I was watching Say Yes to the Dress in high school. Like I'm not even kidding. I was like, I will get my dress at Kleinfeld. And then I just loved Haley Page's designs, and then found a trunk show she was at. So that day was super manifested. But I will say I did myself a massive favor as someone who was at the time had a really hard time making decisions, because I was like, I will get my dress at Kleinfeld on this day. This is the only day that's booked. I didn't go anywhere else. And so that was helpful for me. So there was some intuition that was backing my ability to make my own decision. But what happened was I thought I wanted one type of look when I got there. And then when I actually tried it on, I hated it. And I was like, it's like, it's the same thing of like what you thought you wanted. I did this too with my job. I chased money originally. I chased money and I was like, oh, well, I just want a job to make money. So I was like, well, I'm really good at IT. I'm really good at tech. So I know those people make really good money, chase money, got all the money. And I was like, this isn't it. This isn't doing it. So you're like chasing the things, or you think you want something and then you actually get it and you're like, that's not really what I wanted. Now I will say, shopping for a dress at Kleinfeld with Haley Page was exactly what I wanted. So that part, yeah, we had that part down pat. But it was like I gave myself this finite time to make a decision, to choose this dress. And it was like the pressure was building, because at the time, tapping into my intuition was a foreign concept to me. It was just like, I need to make a decision and I don't know what to do. No one's telling me what to do. I'm not getting that validation from other people. Again, luckily I only took my mom with me, so I didn't have like 50 other people telling me what I should or shouldn't be doing. So I will say in that scenario, I set myself up for success and where I was at internally. But intuition was not really in my vocabulary. And so I was very much lacking confidence in myself, and I was very much relying on other people in that particular setting. I think at some point, it's like my mom was there as like my guide to like really channel my intuition a little bit for me, because that was such a struggle for me at the time. And I think she asked the right questions. She asked the best questions, saying like, well, there was one that I really loved, but it wasn't what I thought I wanted. It wasn't what I went in there wanting. And she was like, well, what's wrong with it? And I was like, nothing. She's like, great. So why don't you want it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. She's like, so why are we still here? So if you have people like that around you to really support you in decision making like that, when maybe you're someone struggling with your intuition, that's really helpful. But we also want to get you to a point where you can ask yourself your own questions to really get to your own decision, and use your body as well. Which, if you're someone with chronic health issues and your body is not feeling well most of the time, then it could be more difficult to really utilize your body and utilize when your body is actually feeling supported, or when your body is telling you intuitive nudges, and when you just feel fucking miserable all the time. So I get it. I get that distortion in your body when there is chronic illness in your body, that there's a lot of energetic distortion going on. So that's also why clearing out your physical vessel from a physical standpoint is so important, because you're clearing out your channel. Your physical body is your channel for energy, for spirit, for intuition, for whatever you're connecting to, including yourself. So if there's a lot of distortion going on in your body, there's a lot of stuck energy, stuck emotions, a lot of toxic energy, a lot of toxins, excess parasites. There could be all kinds of things. That's all distortion. Excess weight, but it's like, why is there excess weight? There's all these things. So if your physical body is not clear, there's a lot of distortion going on, which is why the people with a lot of distortion in their body are the people that are experiencing these chronic health issues. And then you don't know how to listen to your intuition because you can't get that clear channel. So having that inner confidence, having that inner knowing, that inner channel is super important to cultivate. Now, the clients that come to me, yes, they all come to me because there is some kind of health issue going on and we really want to get to the root of it and heal it. But this is why I am not someone that is just going to hand you a supplement protocol and say, bye, have a nice day. Because I've seen how much strengthening your intuition, learning to, not necessarily having to read other energy, but really it's almost like reading your own energy. How important that is. Knowing which clairs you really resonate with, what's your strongest clair, meaning do you see, do you feel, do you hear, do you know? That is so important to cultivate. So while yes, when you're working with me, I'm going to really help you clear out your physical vessel. We're going to clear out your energetic field as well to really make you a clearer vessel, your body, your meat suit. And then we're going to go into a bunch of intuition development, because that is what is going to create your inner confidence. And once you have that inner confidence, you have the energy in your body to know what your next step is. Whether that is your next step in your health, your life, your business, your relationships, and taking that aligned action is what creates optimal health in your body. Because when you're just taking action based off of what other people are telling you should do, that's why your body feels so shitty. Because you are now listening to someone else's energy, you're listening to someone else's validation. You're basically listening to someone else tell you how to live your life and what to do. If it's out of alignment with your body, you're not going to feel good. So part of health issues are, yes, there's lots of distortion in the body, energetically, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. That's part of it. And then the other part is you just continuing to make unaligned decisions in your life and your body's out of alignment and it's trying to tell you, hey, pay attention, stop fucking doing that. So really coming back into alignment and confidence within yourself is one of the most important things to really heal your health issues and heal your body. So for me, this came through with learning how to read energy and really developing my intuition through that avenue. Now, like I said earlier, I don't think you necessarily need to learn to read energy. Now, you can if you want to, and if that's something that you want to do, like, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you do it. But it's not required because really it's just more about clearing out all of the noise around you and hearing what your body, your higher self, your soul is telling you. And that is really focusing. It's almost like focusing. So if you've ever been taught how to read energy, it's really about having a focus point. What's your focus point? What are you reading? And that's why meditation is such a great way to practice reading energy when you read energy in meditation. But if you're not trying to read energy, really getting in that meditative state where you can focus, where you can hold focus on something for a long amount of time. Yes, of course, your mind can get distracted and all those things, but it's really about holding the focus for you to be able to receive. So for me, that came in with reading energy, and that actually sparked me being able to trust myself more. Now, it was actually funny enough, at the same time, it was during wedding planning. Like I had told you, I had super decision fatigue, decision overload happening when we were planning our wedding. And it was like, on one hand, I loved it. On the other hand, I couldn't make a decision to save my fucking life. And I was also identifying with someone who could not make a decision. I would literally say, I'm terrible at making decisions. So now I'm telling myself I don't know how to make a decision. I'm basically telling myself I don't know what I want. And then someone would give me what they thought I wanted and I didn't like it because I didn't actually tell them what I wanted. And so someone was helping me at the time kind of start to listen to my intuition. Now, at the time, they were recommending for me to use muscle testing. Now, I have been using muscle testing for several years. And what I've learned from it is it's an amazing tool. And at the time where I was at in my life, in my mental state, in my lack of ability to make a decision, muscle testing for me was a really great tool to start tapping into my own energy. Now, I'm really careful with utilizing muscle testing now for that specific reason, because I also think you can let muscle testing take over. And now you're giving your power to an outside tool. So, with anything, there is a balance, there is discernment needed, and I think people can take it too far. I've watched people take it too far. I've taken it too far. I've tried to use muscle testing for like bigger decisions of, what I should do for a certain weekend or just, where I should even spend my money in certain places. And when you start to do it in that way, you're almost like checking yourself. You're like, well, I want to do this, but should I do this? And if you're using a pendulum, it's a physical item. If you're using your fingers or your arm or something, it's still yourself, but you're like checking. So muscle testing can be a great tool, and I love using it in the energy work that I do and in the protocol building that I do because it's not like a big decision and I don't have a bias around it. I'm really just wanting to get the resonance of your body versus when you're using it to make decisions, there's bias and there's also the ability for you to give your power away. It's different. So, for anyone who's familiar with muscle testing, it's a great tool, but if it stops becoming a tool and it becomes more powerful than you, it's no longer a tool. Now you got to set some boundaries and get rid of it not totally get rid of it, but stop using it for your own decision making because now you're basically just outsourcing again. So, yes, that can definitely help you lead to confidence. And, when someone showed me how to muscle test at the time, I really thought that muscle testing I only thought practitioners could muscle test. I thought if you were, like regular common folk that, it was only reserved for practitioners. So at the time, the way it was revealed to me gave me my own power. Like I said, caveat, use your own discernment. Once it starts to take your power away, it's no longer a tool. You've just given it away. But it helped create that inner confidence. So whatever is going to really help you ignite that, if that's something that you feel like is challenging for you right now, then by all means, like anything, tools are great. Tools are great until they're no longer tools and they're power suckers. Use your own discernment where you're at, okay? If you're like really in the state where you are going to benefit from a tool, use the tool. If you know it's going to suck your power, don't use it. It's no longer a tool anymore. But really more of that confidence is helping you take the aligned action, which is going to help you let go of the things that don't serve you, which is also going to help you set stronger boundaries, which is going to help you live in energetic alignment with your highest timeline, which is going to increase your vibration and heal your health issues. So this is the train of events. This is what really starts out by cultivating your confidence. How do you cultivate your confidence? You tap into your intuition. How do you tap into your intuition? You start to trust yourself. You start to be with yourself. There's all the tools. But that's why when people come to me and we're doing coaching and they're like, yeah, but I came to you for health issues. And I'm like, that's nice. We will totally work on that. And I do. And I will give you a muscle tested protocol for you to be highly supported with very high vibrational professional supplements, because I do believe that those are still necessary and helpful. And making sure, you're eating all the right things to support your body and movement and all of that fun stuff. But if you do not pair that with developing your own intuition and strengthening that part, you're doing yourself a disservice. And then you're just looking for power elsewhere. My job is to help you cultivate your own power. If you see my Instagram bio, it says empowerment activator. I'm very serious about that. It's my own personal title that I came up with that I'll probably change again, but I want to empower you. I want to empower you to have confidence in yourself, because that was one of the biggest game changers for me. And I know how amazing it can feel to actually feel in your body when you trust yourself. It's a different feeling. It really is. And I want you to feel that. If you're like, I've never felt that before, I want you to feel that. So I'm going to guide you the way there so you can feel it. So there's also very tangible ways that you can start to strengthen your intuition, different tools. Like I had mentioned already, meditation is a great one. Meditation can sometimes be challenging for people. If it is challenging for you, it's because your body and your mind and your energy is just new to focusing on something for a long time. So it does take practice. So don't give up. I love guided meditations for this reason, because it does help to keep you on track somewhere. So if guided meditations, or if you've never done meditations at all, or if just meditating by yourself can be kind of challenging, start with guided meditations. I have some free ones. I'll drop them below, but start with those so they can really keep you on track. Like I mentioned before, getting to know your strongest clair. And that's just going to take some trial and error. I think that doing guided meditations that are helping you even just read energy, read yourself, visualizations, those can be really great. Like if someone's leading you through a visualization, do you see it in your mind's eye or are you hearing things? Do you just know things? Are you feeling them in your body? I think that the feeling part gets really, miscounted or just kind of like brushed off because people think that when they're doing meditation and they start to feel something, they're like, "Oh, I just started to feel, unwell, or I started to, whatever you're starting to feel." They disconnect the fact that they were in meditation when they started to feel it. They feel like it's not related. So the best way to know if it's connected to the meditation or to the energy work that you're doing at the time is set really strong and clear boundaries and protection before you go in. So, setting aside whatever you were doing beforehand, however you were feeling before you go into the meditation, and set aside and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. That's over there. Anything that I receive, anything that I feel during this meditation, it is connected to the meditation, and state that at the beginning. So then when you go into your meditation, whether you're reading yourself, you're just doing energy work, you're receiving a visualization meditation, whatever you're doing, any message you receive, whether it's visual, feeling, hearing, knowing, whatever, you know it's from the meditation. And you can confirm and say, this was a received message, not blow it off and say, oh, I just happened to, start to feel tingles in my feet. And, whatever, it just started to happen. That's a message. That's how you're receiving. So if you're someone that really receives in your body, no. Are you receiving messages for yourself? Are you receiving messages for other people through your body? And that's why so many people who are experiencing chronic illness, who have health issues, even if they are someone that is supposed to be experiencing through their body or that is one of their strongest clairs, they're not feeling it because they're so inflamed, they're so disconnected, they're so detached from their body that even if messages are coming in, they're not feeling it. I get so many clients that are literally detach themselves from their body and they tell me that they are watching themselves experience life. Okay, no, we need to be in your body. You came here to experience life on earth as a human being. Yes, we can connect into higher realms. Yes, we can connect into, other dimensions, the spirit world, all those kinds of things. That's great. That's amazing. But not in everyday life. In everyday life, we need to be in your body experiencing your body because your body is giving you messages, your body is giving you clues. It's talking with you, it wants to work with you, but you got to be there to receive and listen. So that's why clearing out your physical vessel allows you to receive those messages even clearer. So even when you're not in a meditation, okay, this is my own energy. And this is also why energetic protection is so important because if you're not in a meditation, you're just going throughout your day and you start to feel a certain way in your body. Maybe you start to have a stomach ache or you start to get a headache or something is coming up in your body, some type of sensation. You want to know for a fact that it's you and you're not picking up on someone else's garbage. Because that can also happen if you get projected upon or if you're a very open person energetically. If you're very sensitive, if you're very open and you're going about your day and you don't protect yourself and you could just be potentially absorbing everyone else's projections. Now, you think it's your own stuff when really you were just walking the street and some guy had an awful day and was just projecting his shit all onto everyone else and you decided to absorb it because you're a nice person and you're sensitive and you're like, let me help you. And it's like, let me take it. You don't need to take that shit. It's just as nice to be a mirror. Send it right back lovingly. Thank you, but no thanks. Take it back. That's your shit. So getting really clear, that's where the meditation can be helpful when you're even not reading energy or not being guided, just getting clear with how your own energy feels. Do you even know? Do you know how your body feels? Do you know how your own energy feels? The answer is no. We need to spend more time. You need to spend more time with yourself to get clear on that so that you know when you're feeling different sensations, you know it's you. So that you can have that feedback loop with yourself, with your body, and have that communication. Otherwise, You're either not going to feel it or you're going to assume it's yours, and then it might not be. So strengthening your clairs and actually knowing what they are, which ones are the strongest for you. And you can, of course, basically train yourself to strengthen your other clairs, like whatever maybe is not a strong one for you. Like if you don't necessarily see very well, like visually in your mind's eye, but you really want to, you can just work on strengthening that. And if there is, maybe a fear of seeing, like a lot of people will have a fear of seeing because they don't know what they're going to see. And so then they just block out everything. So that could be something that we could work through too. Now, I am not a human design expert, but I do love utilizing human design for certain things. And one of the things is, I'm pretty sure it's called your authority. So that's how you make decisions. Again, please don't come at me for like certain descriptions and things in human design. I've never studied it. I just know like the little bits and pieces enough to like get me by. But I know that I'm a sacral authority. So I know that I make decisions from a gut standpoint. Like I get a gut reaction and it's a yes or a no. This is why I will say learning how to muscle test is super helpful, because when you're muscle testing, you're asking yes, no questions. And that can just be really helpful to kind of not program, but like use your mind to ask yourself these yes, no questions. Like, do you move stronger towards something or further away from something? Do you, get a stronger, like a better response moving towards something? Is it weaker when you move away? That asking of yes, no. Now, not everybody loves the yes, no questions. That doesn't maybe necessarily serve everyone. Personally, it serves me. That's why I use it. And for me, making gut decisions is how I make decisions from a gut response. Now, not everyone is like that. That's why I say utilizing your human design and seeing what kind of authority you are. I know the sacral authority is the gut response. I don't know the others because, again, I'm not a human design expert. But if you look up your chart on like all these different apps and all these different places, you can totally find it. So go find it and find out how you best make decisions and see if that really resonates for you. Because I know there's some people that have to sleep on it overnight. They have to like really sit with it in your body. But then we come back to your body, whether it's a gut reaction, sleeping on it overnight. I really don't know what the other ones are. I apologize. Please go look it up for yourself, for your own design. But you come back to your body. It's still a body response. So I've done things. I've offered free sessions to people. I've gifted things to people. I've posted something, all these different decisions in my business. And I always know what the gut response and the gut reaction was before I did it. And it's just amplified afterwards. So if I knew that I was making a decision that really wasn't aligned and my gut was telling me, no, you really shouldn't be doing this, and I did it anyways, it just got amplified later. And then if I made a decision that felt really good in the moment and it was a gut response, yes, it just feels better later. And it's like more of that validating energy. Okay, but either way, I'm still utilizing my body to know and to kind of like get that barometer to validate my own decision. So whether you are someone that has that gut response in you, that's your way to make decisions, or you make decisions a different way, you still utilize your body in some aspect. So again, we need to get clear with your own intuition, how your own energy feels, how you feel with making these decisions, and trusting yourself and being confident in yourself is going to help you make those decisions even better, which again is why we go back to clearing out your physical body, clearing out your physical vessel, and strengthening your intuition with creating confidence and trust in yourself. So again, I'm looking at my notes because I was like typing all these last night as I was in the bathroom and got out of the shower or something like that. And there's just like a stream of consciousness that wanted to come through. So I want to make sure I hit all my ideas, all my thoughts. So I kind of already mentioned this, but just really taking notice when you feel good after a decision and when you don't. That can be really helpful to just help you validate yourself instead of asking other people like, oh, was that a good idea or was it not? Even if you're playing with strengthening that piece, maybe you don't feel like it's fully cultivated yet and you're like, oh, I really want to work on this. Don't just stop and sit there and say, well, I don't really know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. No. Move. Try things. Make a decision. Notice how you're feeling, make a decision, and notice how you're feeling after. Did it match up? Did it validate? Did you let your ego talk you into something? And letting your body and really tapping into how your body is feeling after the decision, the decision is just as important as the before. So really focus on that. Energy work is amazing, again, because we're clearing out the distortion of energy in your field. Anything that's been projected onto you, anything that's not yours, anything that's been stuck, stagnant, just is needing to go, old parts of yourself. There's so many things. There's so much energy that could be in your auric field, in your body. So doing any type of energy work that really resonates with you to clear out what is no longer serving you. That is why so much of the work that I do, so much of the work that I guide people through is releasing. We want to release what's no longer serving you so that you can invite in what does. And it's a constant evolution. It's a constant state of releasing, inviting in, releasing, inviting in. It's not just one release and done. You're not going to get all of the results that you want and the life that you want after one energy session. If that's what you think, go find someone else. This is why I offer these really intensive coaching programs, because we're doing energy work every single week. Sure, if you want to test out the space, absolutely. I have gotten an amazing, incredible, magical 60-minute session for you that will change your life. But if you stop there, you're just stopping the flow of energy. Like, that's it. I'm not going to say that you can't get amazing, magical feelings and results and epiphanies and experiences from one session, from one thing. But if you expect to change your entire life with one energy work session, you don't understand energy work, because you're always being impacted by energy every single day of your life. You're always changing, you're always evolving, and it's a constant practice. Breath work is another form of energy work, and just really clearing, moving energy throughout the body. Again, clearing out your vessel, inviting in the new energy. And also just clearing out, I've mentioned this like 50 times, but I really just want to like drive it home. Clearing out your physical vessel to make your body a clear channel for divine messages. That means eating cleaner food. That means, okay, sorry about that. We're back. Apparently my excessive hand motions keeps the little thumb pop-up, the thumbs up pop-up, continuing to come up, and then it freezes my screen and stops the recording. It's a good time. Okay, so we're back, and I feel like Spirit's like, okay, you're done. Like, wrap it up. You've repeated yourself too much. So I'll finish it off with this. Eating clean foods, drinking clean water, filtered water, remineralizing your water, supporting your body, eating foods that are easily digestible for you, supporting your digestive system, which also means opening your drainage pathways. If you energetically want to support your drainage pathways, I have an incredible free meditation that you can access below. It is an energy work meditation, so there's a ton of energy work and high vibrational frequency infused into that meditation. So grab that to support your drainage pathways. And that's really opening up all of the elimination organs and tissues in your body to eliminate any type of physical, emotional, energetic toxins in your body to be eliminated. Because if you just start on a detox and your drainage pathways aren't open, you're just going to make yourself feel worse. But this is also detoxing toxins, pathogens, parasites, feeling your emotions, letting those go. Those are all ways to clear out your physical vessel. Moving your body, sweating, continuous movement, clearing out, and all the things I already mentioned. So this is, of course, all the work that I do with clients, all the work that I do in my business. And, this is how I got here to this place, because of my own experience with myself. I felt like shit. Had all these chronic issues, couldn't make a fucking decision to save my life, was taking a fuck ton of unaligned action in my life and feeling miserable because of it, and was led to clear out my body, detox, open drainage pathways, feel my emotions, tap into my intuition, read energy, learn what my energy actually feels like, learn how to utilize my intuition and how it sounds, how it's different from ego. I saw someone, I totally resonate and agree with this statement. I saw someone say, if you think you can explain your intuition, it's not your intuition. It's your ego. I'm like, yeah. You can't always explain. I don't feel like always, but you don't always necessarily have to explain your intuitive decisions. If you are making a decision off of intuition, it's usually not logical, which is why this is how you know it's not your ego. If it's not fear-driven, if it's not fear-based, that's your intuition. If it is fear-based and it's in the avoidance of something, that's how you know it's your ego. Your ego wants to keep you safe. Your ego wants to keep you comfortable. So anything that's rooted in ego decision, and the ego is not bad. I feel like the ego gets a bad rap, like often. So it's not that we don't want the ego, but we don't want your ego necessarily running your entire life. And oftentimes the ego is very fear-driven. It's very fear-based, and it is keeping you safe and comfortable. Well, safe and comfortable is not going to allow you to grow. So if you can explain and logic your way into the decision, and you're avoiding something, it's in the avoidance of something, it's most likely ego. If it makes no fucking sense, if you just feel a visceral reaction to do something in your body and it feels good and you want to go towards it, that's your intuition. And especially if it feels like a crazy decision and a crazy idea, it's really your intuition. Because oftentimes our intuition comes in, it makes no sense. And you're like, but I don't really want to do that. Like when I left my job, there is zero things in life that told me logically, this is a great idea. You should totally do this. Nope. But I had so many, it was more than one. It was more than one intuitive nudge to say, it's time. You gotta go. Was it comfy? Was it cozy? Did it end up exactly how my ego and my brain wanted it to go afterwards? No. So just because you make an intuitive choice and you're like, you finally tap into your intuition and you finally start to trust yourself and you finally start to make these intuitive decisions and then they go the exact opposite way that you wanted, you can't be like, I'm never trusting my intuition again. Okay, no. It's not like if you trust your intuition, your life is magical, nothing ever goes wrong, you never have any problems anymore. No. But let me tell you, while it may not have served my ego's comfy zone, my body feels a whole hell of a lot better and a whole hell of a lot more in alignment than when I was trying to avoid all of these things, listening to my ego, trying to stay safe, trying to stay comfortable, leaning out of growth. So living in intuition and intuitive-based life is not necessarily easy. And then here's the other thing. You have to keep doing it, because if you make one intuitive decision and then you don't actually like the outcome, a lot of people will resort back to their ego and be like, nope, I'm done. I tried it. I tried it once. I don't like it. That was scary. That was really terrifying. Let's go back. Nope. It's the constant state of trusting yourself over and over and over again and trusting your intuition that creates that self-confidence, that creates that intuitive knowing in yourself that no one else can take away. It takes work. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes you figuring out, and it takes you making the quote unquote wrong choices. It takes you making the decisions that did not feel good for you to know, I don't like that. That I see where I made that decision. I see where it was out of alignment. Okay, now I understand. And you keep learning. Because if you don't move, if you don't make any decisions, if you just sit around and say, I'm just waiting for the perfect path, I'm waiting for all 10 steps to be laid out in front of me, you've been waiting for a long time. And you're not going to learn a whole hell of a lot. So if that's the path, that's amazing. Don't come to me. You're not going to want to hear what I have to say to you. So work on strengthening your own intuition, work on clearing out your physical body. And that is really what is going to create this ultimate, beautiful healing in your body. And if no one has told you today, as always, You are an absolute glowing goddess. I am so, so happy that you are here with me today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, for tuning into this podcast, for tuning into the Oh My Gosh, You're Glowing podcast. My goal and my intention is always to bring you messages and content and different things to bring into your awareness to really allow you to create that glow in your life from within. That is the entire intention on this podcast. So, everything that I bring is really with the intention of, yes, the experiences that I've had, yes, the experiences that I've learned, and all of the lessons that I've learned, things that I work on with clients that I absolutely love and want to share with you. But it's all with the intention of helping you create that aligned life for yourself. And with that, we're going to close out the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day wherever you're at.